all the things that I would say honestly, because I felt the same way. I was in the same position as them. All the things that you weren't allowed to do, or the opportunities that were taken away from you, now you have the chance to create it for yourself. Now there's nobody there to tell you no. There's nobody there to say, "Oh, we'll wait on you, and then we'll get back to you," and then you hear nothing for 6 months.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle from 102.5 KZOK, and AEW's got not one, not two, but three big shows starting tomorrow with Collision in Kent at the ShoWare Center. Tickets, by the way, still available at AEWTix.com. That is AEWTix.com. And on the show today, a guy who is no stranger to the show. Give it up for the one, the only Swerve Strickland.
Yo, what's going on?
Man, it is an honor and a privilege to get you back here on the show, and let's talk about it real quick because I want to go into this. This week, AEW's Grand Slam show in Arena México, big cultural moment for fans who have never experienced that atmosphere. Can you describe what it felt like to wrestle in one of the most legendary venues in pro wrestling history?
It felt as honestly as remarkable as the fans allowed us to feel it. You know what I mean? It's like the fans made it so much more of a big monumental moment than we even like expected it to be. You know, I don't think any of the performers on the show, like who were either a part of All Elite Wrestling or CMLL, were expecting the great reception from the fan base as we got. You know, they took it over the edge. They made the show so much more enjoyable from not only just the people in the arena, but it made it enjoyable for the people watching at home that were literally like excited and glued to the action, glued to the atmosphere. The fan base seeing Mystico get the reception that he got, you know, in the match with MJF was like unworldly. It made you appreciate the superstar so much more. It made you appreciate the moment that much more. And then just hearing the reception and everybody's takes and what everybody was saying about the event afterwards, after watching and enjoying it, you know, it made us like really appreciate being able to perform in the arena that much more, because as much as it's great for us, the performers, how much it means to us, it means that much more for the fans to really appreciate and understand the meaning and the moment that we created with All Elite Wrestling and CMLL doing what we did, you know, doing the Grand Slam like that.
Yeah. And I was texting buddies. I was like, you guys have got to turn this on right now. This is incredible. But yeah, we got another pay-per-view quality match on, you know, matches on free TV. So just incredible. So, you know, something that you probably, you know, probably not your favorite subject, but Hangman, Adam Page, you know, he gave a very passionate, whatever you want to call it, speech, a Grand Slam in Spanish, no less. Is Hangman the right man for the job heading into All In? Do you think he's the right man to kind of dethrone Moxley? And would it be obvious to assume that, you know, you would have a target out for him if he becomes the world champion next?
Honestly, he was the right man for the job, regardless if I was going to be world champion going into All In or if it was going to be Jon Moxley. It was always like he was always going to be the right man. You know what I mean? Like always, like as much as like we have the history between me and him as people, more so just competitors, as just man to man, he was always the right guy for this whole situation, which is why I went at him in the first place. You know, after like when nothing about his position in the company has ever changed. And that's the point that I made when I first like went at him after All Out, after he won the Battle Royal, the charity Battle Royal. And after All Out on the Dynamite, I literally came at him and I said, like, dude, why are you in this position? We know who you are and we know who you're capable of. And if you don't think you're good enough for that anymore, move out of the way and I'm going to take that seat. You know, like
Absolutely.
as much as it was me coming at him in a, you know, difficult, as a challenging position, it was me acknowledging the fact that he is that guy. He's always been that guy. He's always been the main character of All Elite Wrestling, which is why I came at him in the first place, you know? So him being in a position to open the shows, like doing an entire 5-minute plus promo in Spanish in the home country's like language, that shows the respect that he has for the fan base. And that also shows that All Elite Wrestling still puts him as the guy to introduce us and to start the show off with that type of, like, we're not here to take over your company. We're here to be guests in your home. We're in Arena Mexico. We're being guests of CMLL. And we just want you to know we appreciate that. And this is the person that's going to be the spokesperson to literally do that handshake agreement to begin the show. You know, we're here at appreciative. You know, he's always been that guy, you know, regardless how I feel about it personally or, you know, and like as a competitor, he's always been that guy. And that's, once again, from day one to day, you know, almost 300 episodes of Dynamite we're about to have, he's always been that guy.
Yeah, and you know, when companies work together and it's not a takeover situation, that's a breath of fresh air. You know, that's always good to see. So,
yes,
absolutely. And something also that you know, me and Eli have talked about this, and I will tell you that I am a big shoe junkie. And I was gonna hit you up before this show because up until this morning, size 10.5 and your shoes were sold out. So I was gonna see if you could like pull some strings, but now Champs finally has a 10.5 back up on the website. So I'll be ordering some of those soon. What's it been like to just kind of watch this? I mean, you have not one, but two signature shoes, one from somewhere previous, now with Reebok as well. So you have two signature shoes. What's it been like watching this kind of demand and cultural response? And is there talks of future collabs? Maybe we can get some Swerve pumps or maybe a full apparel line? Because I know there's a shirt and a hat that goes with the shoes as well now.
Yeah, it was something that All Elite Wrestling always wanted to capitalize on with me. The one that was previous was going to be personalized one by a friend of mine, Mosh, who has his own brand. He did collaborative shoes with like Odell Beckham Jr., with Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, and Stephon Diggs. He's big in the NFL, you know, in the world. And he also has golf shoes now too. That was about to be something that we were going to partner and like really sign off, do something bigger with. But All Elite Wrestling, they were like, all right, you have the option to do this, or we have the option to do this and really blow this up and keep it under the All Elite Wrestling umbrella and truly reach out to the connections that we have to not only just make this just your thing, but a true partner and collaborative brand. And reaching out to Reebok, adding on Allen Iverson, who collaborated and posted and gave the thumbs up for this new sneaker, was something I couldn't pass up, you know. So that was something I had to put all my efforts and energy with, and just my branding, you know. So especially with Reebok, with Shaq and Iverson coming together to rebrand Reebok in a different way, different new light in 2025. You know, they got a documentary on Netflix about that whole thing right now. And Angel Reese from the WNBA getting her first signature shoe with Reebok is like, man, that's a team that I want to be a part of, you know. And even want to venture into the pro wrestling world with, you know, Swerve, you know, the brand, and that shows the impact that I have being here in All Elite Wrestling. And it wasn't just me, it was All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan, you know, Linda and Chris Peck, and a lot of these guys like Kosha that came together to really put their best foot forward to make sure that this came out a success. We wanted to come out the gate with a success, a bona fide guaranteed success with Champs. And just like by noon o'clock Eastern time, I believe it was just on the day of the release, there was 700 shoes sold and making it number one on Champ Sports, you know. So testament to just the team, the branding, the belief in me from Reebok, the belief in me from Allen Iverson to even want to like post about it on his IG and the video and all that stuff. He said he was blown away about the whole thing. And just a testament to the fan base of All Elite Wrestling, still continuing to purchase these shoes to keep having to like restock and have to refresh the shoe. And then you're seeing the shoe go on StockX for about $800 overseas.
Yep.
Like it felt like a moment in time. It's like, wow, like that it really makes me and the people believe that I am the franchise of All Elite Wrestling, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And like I told Eli, like when they went on sale, it was very difficult to get them. And then, like you said, I saw the price rise up on StockX, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll wait for a restock. And then when I go look, 10.5 sold out. I normally wear 10.5 or 11, and I was like, we sit there yesterday as we were prepping for the show, and I was like, well, maybe Swerve could pull some strings, and I could like give him my credit card to get a 10.5. But all of a sudden, Champs put more up there today because obviously people are wanting the shoes, and it's got to be a cool thing for you to see when people are posting that they're buying your shoes, or you show up at an AEW show and there's going to be some kid wearing your shoes or an adult wearing your shoes.
It was the same effect that Allen Iverson had when his shoes first came out in the NBA in like 2001. Like the answers and the questions were like a craze. You know, people wanted to wear him at school. People wanted to wear him on, you know, their high school basketball coach. You know, they on street courts and stuff, and street tournaments and AAU, people wanted to wear those shoes. And then like I wanted that same effect, you know, in the wrestling world. There's very few things that you can wear from a wrestler on the street or everyday. That's why when we were collaborating and putting the designs together and the ideas of it, I was like, I wanted to make sure this is something that kids would want to wear at school and show off to their friends. And then we wanted to put like an accessories. So that's where the hat and the shirt came from. We literally try to dress like Swerve and be like Swerve. Like if I wear it in the ring, you can wear it at home. You can wear it to school, and it's not something that's going to get you like kicked out of school for wearing something inappropriate. No, it's like very positive message type thing. You know, Swerve is confidence. It's always been my motto for like over 10 years and everything. So it's an approachable wear. It's an inspirational wear. It's a role model like wear, but it's also a cool wear, you know. And not only does it have Iverson's logo on it, has my face on the logo as well of the shoe. So I'm seeing in Arena Mexico people holding up the shoe as well. So these, you know, over on StockX, and then like I'm seeing like in the UK and Europe being sold in certain ways. I don't know how, because some people saying Champ Sports doesn't even ship out to Canada or across, you know, international.
Somebody's got a plug somewhere.
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. That's cool. Like, however you can get them is really awesome to me. Just the fact that people want them that much to go through all these extensive ways to try to acquire the shoe. That means something so much more to me, because like that means that's true support.
Right. And with Shaq now being the president of Reebok with the relaunch, there's the synergy there too, because he obviously he's had a match with AEW too. So it's kind of a working both ways there too. So yeah. You know, one thing controversial that happened not too long ago that you probably have an opinion about, MJF officially joining the Hurt Syndicate. What was your reaction to Bobby finally doing the thumbs up and letting him in? And, you know, do you see a double cross happening, and which side do you see turning on the other first?
I'm just as surprised as everybody else watching. And then I think it's interesting television. And MJF has always brought interesting television to All Elite Wrestling. You know, Hurt Syndicate brings attention, and they bring a different type of class to the product that I feel like no other promotion really can do. So that's why it's so bad here in All Elite Wrestling. You know, I was the introduction for Hurt Syndicate coming in. You know, Bobby Lashley, I was, you know, first singles match in All Elite Wrestling, and that was something that was really big and important for me, like to see like these two African-American wrestling stars of the past decade, you know, come together and like really show out in full gear 2024. You know, that meant something. So they're always must watch. They're always an impact. You see them, you understand them, but there's an unpredictability factor with MVP in there too. So MJF being one of the X factors of All Elite Wrestling, to get with these guys, I'm always just as surprised and shocked as the fan base is. And so if you can have other people on the roster tuning in and not knowing what to expect, those guys, they're doing great work.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the one thing that's really cool when you look at it is you've got Bobby, you've got Shelton, you've got MVP in this group together. What's it been like seeing Bobby and Shelton getting their flowers after joining AEW? Because, I mean, it seems like they're getting an even bigger platform than they had before.
Yeah, kind of like they were tossed away a little bit at their prior.
Well, right. they're like I said, they're always an impact on television. So that shows their values still to this day. You know, they're always being seen. They're always available. They have championships on them right now. They're revitalizing the tag team division in a way that hasn't been done in AEW. You know, they're a dominant tag team. You're not going to necessarily go out there and be competitive with them guys. At this point, not everybody should. It's a task. So when that team comes around that does like push them and take them to the limits, it's going to be, once again, good television. It's going to be something interesting to watch. So it's always a challenge to take people out of the norm of what we do, because a lot of people love seeing the tag team bangers, you know, in the tag team division. Now you got a tag team with two guys and a veteran manager of MVP that these guys aren't competing. They're going to beat you. These are guys. These are a wall. These are titans to go against, and that's the deal. And a lot of people are adjusting. Our fan base, even adjusting to that, you know. And that's the best thing about AEW. It's every time we get you in a pattern for several months, then make you have to readjust in a little bit, you know. So not stale and refreshing, you know. And I think the All Elite Wrestling Tag Champion, the Hurt Syndicate, has been doing that in an amazing way, and they're doing it their way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Now, one thing, you look at AEW and the history that Swerve has. I mean, Swerve has his finger on just about every person on that roster, if you look at it. One of them being your recent time limit draw with Ospreay, another banger with interesting implications. As we're getting closer to All In Texas, you and Ospreay just keep taking that bar. Like, it's here, and you keep taking it here, and then you keep pushing it further and further, match after match. Does your respect for him grow with each match, or does the rivalry cut deeper every time?
It cuts deeper. Even like it's always been like we're on the opposite sides of the ring, but we've never been more connected as people inside the ring. You know, outside of it and inside, we're like always like I always say, like every time we fight, we learn, and we learn more about ourselves. We learn more about each other, and the people learn more about me and him. You know, there's a learning thing, and then also people that are watching, they're learning more about AEW. You know, there's always something to teach. There's always something to learn from when me and Ospreay are in the ring. He makes me better every single time. Even after all these years, I've been wrestling that kid since he was 18 in the UK, and all the way to like wrestling him right after he won the Super Juniors at 23. You know, all the way to doing multi-man matches with him at like Mania weekends and like four ways and all these things like that, to doing it and the pay-per-view main events of Forbidden Door, you know, seeing him every step of the way as a kid. And this kid still pushes me. He was pushing me back then, and he still pushes me now. He's been learning from me. I've been learning from him. But there's always a personal thing involved that we always have respect and love and appreciation for each other. After Forbidden Door, like I held him head to head, said my words to him, and I kissed him on the forehead, you know. And then after this match that we had in the time limit draw, he took a bullet from me from the Young Bucks with the spiked sneakers, you know, and a super kick. So that goes to show we're always still connected in such a way that nobody else can drive that away. You know, we go at it and we push each other, but we also have the understanding that you can't just be here in All Elite Wrestling just to be here. We've always had that same respect. We both push the bar and raise it as to certain lengths that, like, people second guess, can they come to All Elite Wrestling? People second guess, can they just like sign a contract and make an impact in All Elite Wrestling? It shouldn't be like that. It should be like signing with the Lakers, you know, like
right.
Get the Lakers and just expect to be starting five and run the floor and get playing time. No, you have to work. You have to be one of the best out there. Then you got to wonder, can you come to the Lakers? And then you got to work that much harder to stay on the team. You know what I mean? That's what we want to always keep, that standard in All Elite Wrestling. So Ospreay believes in that, and that's why he is where he is. And I support where he is. Always have, always will. And that's why he feels like he can just jump in the ring with me and then put me on his team, because we believe in the same things of All Elite Wrestling.
But let's just, you mentioned something about, you know, signing contracts and stuff like that. There have been several free agents popping up in the waters recently. Last month, 2 months specifically. Some of those very likely ended up in AEW. What advice do you have to those free agents and recent releases as they navigate, the independent scene in 2025?
A lot of those guys had their gripes of how they've been used for the last several years. All the opportunities that they thought they had that they were taken away from. All of them felt like they were short-handed and shortchanged in a lot of different ways. Like all the things that I would say honestly, because I felt the same way. I was in the same position as them. All the things that you weren't allowed to do, or the opportunities that were taken away from you, now you have the chance to create it for yourself. Now there's nobody there to tell you no. There's nobody there to say, "Oh, we'll wait on you, and then we'll get back to you," and then you hear nothing for 6 months. Like, there's nobody to take your time away. There's nothing, no hierarchy, overarching like system,
Right.
to hold your life and your career for several years, and then when you get out of it, you feel like nothing has been accomplished. No, the time is now for you, not later, and it's not like dedicated to somebody else to offer you that time. The time is yours. Take that time and cherish it and understand, like, now you get other people to respect your time.
Yeah.
Because that's something like nobody can pay you for. You can't buy time, and nobody can pay time. It's up to you to decide what you do with it. And it only it only ticks down. It only ticks away. So take that of all the years or the months or the moments that were taken away from you, get it back and put it into, that's what you're putting your effort into, the time, and so now there's no time like now. So take it back and don't wait around for anybody or for anything, and make people come to you. Don't run for anybody else. Make them come to you and be so good and get your leverage back. Get your leverage in the industry. It's the hardest thing to truly turn into value, is to gain that leverage, gain that that want and that need for you.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And of course, AEW, they kick off their time here in Kent, Washington for 3 big shows with Collision tomorrow, ShoWare Center. Tickets still available, AEWTix.com. That is AEWTix.com. And last question before we let you go. Obviously, we know you're very big into the music industry. I mean, we were sitting here looking at your Insta stories. You put out a new music video earlier on your stories, which everybody should go check that out. If we were to go through your playlist right now, like if we just start scrolling through, what's that one song on there that we say, we didn't really think Swerve's listening to this?
You might lose some street cred for it.
I would say it's not even that old, but Harry Styles' Watermelon Sugar is fire.
Yes.
That's a modern day disco record, and I love the play. It plays for me easily. Even I Love It record.
Yeah.
Camila Cabello, I think, but Playboy Cardi, it gets for me. It's I was like, this is unique. This is different. Nokia gets for me. GNX gets spins for me from Ken, Dodger Blue. That gets crazy spins. Man, like there's so many. It's like not really just one, but I was at the top for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty solid stuff. Well, Swerve, it's an honor and a privilege to have you back here on the show. Before we let you go, anything you want to say to people watching or listening to this right now?
Man, keep checking out AEW. Keep supporting the hottest wrestling product in the world, man. AEWTix.com if you're trying to come to a show near you in the city. And every Saturdays at 8 on TNT, Collision, and every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, Dynamite Eastern time, man. So you know where to find us, man. Cop these shoes, the new Swerve Answer 3s, with a collaboration with Reebok and Allen Iverson. Now available on Champ Sports, but get them. They're very limited sizes, very limited until they restock. So keep checking them out, keep picking those up. And July 11th got a new little music video coming out too with my man Monty. So check that out too. That's coming your way. That'll be released very, very soon. You'll get some previews coming up.